Welcome to the Angelscapes podcast, where you're encouraged to uncover and develop a direct connection with your soul's power, wisdom, and spiritual intuition that is ready to blossom. We'll explore new ideas, compelling tips, and real steps to help you learn simple spiritual practices. We're a safe place to learn more about accessing your soul's power with education and spiritual wholeness that could bring more clarity to your life. Now here's your host, a practicing medium, Akashic Records practitioner, spirit artist, coach, and mentor, Dr. Reverend Nancy Smith.
Where are you going? What is driving you? Did your life come with a manual to tell you what to do and how to do it? Hello, this is Nancy Smith and this is Angelscapes. And we're going to talk on this episode about your soul's journey in the Akashic Records. Every lifetime has a soul's plan, and this soul can be found. Let's start again. Every lifetime has a soul plan, and this soul plan can be found in your Akashic Records. So we're going to discuss getting a reading from the records and how to learn how to read the Akashic Records. As you know, at Angelscapes, Nancy Smith I offer tons and tons of Akashic Record work. There are readings from your soul, there are healings from the Akashic Records, and I also teach you how to read the Akashic Records. Everyone can read their own Akashic Records. Everyone has the ability to do that. It's just a matter of learning how to do it and how to apply your sensitivities to understanding the nature of the Akashic Records. The Akashic, our soul, the Akashic Record is the energy of the Creator, and everything that the Creator has created. You can call that the Akashic field or the Akashic energy. Akashic is simply a word for energy. And this energy of the Creator is very indelible. It's very sensitive, and everything that the Creator creates and all the reactions to all the things he creates is embedded in the Akashic Records or written in the Akashic Records somehow. And as you learn to read these Akashic Records, you can access a lot of information about your own personal self, about the world around you, about all the things that you belong to, all the things that you're acting with. You can read the records of not an individual person, but all of humanity, where humanity is going. You can read the records of the house that you own. You could read the records of the country that you belong to. So why get an Akashic reading? I get a reading to kind of get a depth sounding for where you are in your life right now. How are you living out your soul's plan? Do you understand what your soul's plan is? Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Most of the time we get a good feeling for what our soul's plan is. We don't give ourselves kind of the credit or the awareness of what exactly we're doing. When we're created, our soul embeds our plan in a chakra above our head and in our heart, behind our third eye, and in our lower chakras. Also, the soul's plan is embedded there. So whether or not we are aware of our soul or our progression through space and time, our unconscious self will have a personality, will have kind of a talents, preferences that all will align with your soul's plan. And wouldn't it be very cool if you could build an awareness around that and learn to read your own self and read your own soul and have a conversation and build a relationship with your soul and your Akashic Records so that you can have support as you're making choices in your life. When you feel like something is worth going for, or when you feel like, no, not so much, I'm not going for that, you can go into your Akashic Records and read them and get a depth chart of what it is that your soul is trying to create. And then again, I want to talk about building a relationship with your soul. Your soul is where you've come from. So it kind of like, it's like nesting dolls. You have the creator that created the soul, and then you have the soul that's created your spirit and your personality. And your soul has had many, many lifetimes, um, with different personalities and different sensitivities through it on this planet, as a human, many other lifetimes, in other planets of the universe. As a matter of fact, you can open up the Akashic Records to find out where else have I been besides planet Earth. It's in a fascinating study. It's a fascinating journey. Many people believe that we are given eternal life. Each individual person and each individual spirit is given eternal life. And yes, that's true. It's the eternal life. It's within the protection of the soul, under the protection of source or God. So when we live forever, we do survive after the change called death, to really step into our soul's power, really step into who we really are. We remember who we are once we've passed. But wouldn't it be cool to remember who you are while you're here, alive, living your best life possible? I run an intensive twice a year. I take applications throughout the year. My next one is going to start at October 22nd, and the next one after that will be in March. And it's designed to help you develop a strong, user-friendly relationship with your creator and your soul. And in this intensive, you will learn techniques and protocols to fill your spiritual toolbox to help you build a spiritual path that will be true to you, true to your own nature, true to what your soul has designed you for. Using your Akashic Records, which is the information the Creator holds for your soul's journey, you will deepen your understanding about your life as you are living it now. Little hint here, also, you will learn about your soul's journey, and what your soul is trying to achieve in infinity, in under the Creator's guidance. So we are all connected in more ways than you can imagine. These workshops are very one-on-one intensive. They're very small, and it runs for 6 months. And so you'll have about 12 meetings with me. And what you'll get in the intensive, and then I'll talk a little bit about what you also get if you just have a reading with me or a mentorship with me. The intensive is designed to help you develop a strong, user-friendly relationship with the creator in your soul. So first off, very, very important, and you will learn techniques and protocols to read the Akashic records. So first off the bat, we immediately, you will learn to read the records, manage the records, how to get in and out of sacred space, and recognize when you are in sacred space, when you're in the records and when you're not. This information from the creator will hold your soul's journey, so you'll begin to really go deeper quickly about where you are in your life, and what the meaning is for what you are doing. You'll deepen your understanding about your life as you're living it now. Akasha is energy, or the body and mind of the creator, and the creator's mind and body is divine unconditional love. So you'll also be accessing this divine unconditional love and see how it actually works within your life. And that is the really key. And whether you're reading with me in person or you're doing an intensive to learn for yourself, is accessing that divine unconditional love, because that is where your soul lives. That's where your soul comes from. That's where we were born from. That's where we're going to return to. And really learning about who you are, really, really are, is understanding yourself in the presence of love, in the presence of love, God. You are loved. We are all loved. And it's hard to prove that. It's hard to really understand that until you build a spiritual practice, which leads you to having a relationship with that higher self and higher power, your soul. Um, and when I read for you in person, I will open up your records and I will read where you are. I work with the angels, um, the masters, the teachers, and your loved ones. I work also as a medium, and I connect into all your spirit teams to say, where are you now and how are you doing now? And we work together on recognizing where you're out of balance, where you're in balance, where you're going forward, where you're stuck. And we use many, many protocols to move you through your life to the next best place, to help you live your best life possible. In a reading, I may use your connection to your soul, what your soul has to say, where you are in your life. We'll take a look at what you're doing and how that's impacting you and how it's reflecting your soul's journey, and are you satisfied with it. We'll look at your mindset. We'll look at your emotional set and your creative abilities. Then we'll look at how you're using the different tools within your creative self. And then we'll see what your guides and your soul have to say to you about your journey now. Now, if we find that you're stuck in any kind of particular place, then we'll dig a little deeper. We'll look into belief systems that you've picked up in this lifetime. We'll look at this lifetime woundings, and we'll look at how you're exchanging energy with the world around you. And and sometimes we'll see that there's a hook to it from a past life or to a soul contract or some kind of an understanding that you developed before you were born or you developed on a soul level. And maybe this contract or this understanding isn't necessarily supporting you right now in the work that you're meant to do. So we do what I call a soul contract clearing, where we clear belief structures, we clear um, contraptions or energetic things that hold you in place, and even entities or thought forms that are influencing you outside of yourself that are keeping you stuck. And we'll work on with the angels moving that through. We'll also sometimes work with past lives. And make it a quantum exchange. You have this ability, this certain talent from a past life. We can reignite it in this lifetime now, or maybe you had a past life that needed a lot of healing, a lot of structure and understanding, and you can heal that past life and change the subtle influences that it's having you on you in this lifetime now. Once something is observed, it always changes. So we also go deep into the unconscious self to say, where is the unconscious self shaking in its boots, or where's the unconscious self stubbornly putting you on a pathway that's no longer serving you? So we'll look at all those different aspects. We work with the mighty six angels, even more than that, actually, and your guides, like I said, and your guardian angel, um, many, many helpers. It's amazing to me the many, many helpers that each individual person has throughout a lifetime. This is how important our lives are as we live them. At least seven guides. We have with the teachers and the masters, your personal guides, your guardian angel, and all the loved ones that are all here to support you and help you on your life. But many times we feel like we're isolated and we're alone and we do not know where we're going or where we're headed, and we feel like it's all by ourselves. So this is another piece that Akashic studies or having Akashic connection through a reading can help you see that you are definitely part of a giant team and that you're not alone. And we need to have those experiences and see the proof that we're not alone oftentimes before we can begin to trust it. And that's what doing Akashic studies will help you do. You'll also be able to access your soul's dream for your life now. So you could not only have that sense of that you're not doing this alone and that you're not alone, but there's also a dream for you. There's an excitement for you in living the life that you're living. And in that excitement, to help you really get the real feel of it, we're going to look at three levels of consciousness where you can make choices on three different levels in your life. And what's the best level to work from is the unconscious self. Is that running your life? Is that where you want to have your love running your life? It actually is kind of where most of the stuck energies are. Or do you want to live from your aware self, where you're bridging between your higher self and your soul and your unconscious self to build the best life possible? You'll learn how to recognize where you're living from your unconscious fearful self or stubborn self, or from your soul self, or maybe it's time to build a bridge so that you are in choice. You are co-creating with your soul, with the higher power. That's the most powerful way to live in that powerful, aware self, so that you can make more conscious choices in your life. And when you can make more conscious choices in your life, your inner creativity will blossom. You'll see that you have more choices than you ever thought. And that calmness, that peace, that satisfaction that comes from knowing that you're not alone, that you're part of an amazing team, um, helps your creativity to flow even more. And you can build that vibration in yourself that becomes a higher and higher vibration, and you're able to access more and more information, more and more resources, and again, live your best life possible, but better than you could have ever imagined it. And that's working in the Akashic Records, and those energies will help you do that. Um, you will develop, whether you're working with me one-on-one or working in a class, a strong connection to those in spirit world who are helping you. It's not just about knowing that you have a team there. It's about building that conversation, building that connection. And you'll be using many of your different superpowers, your extraordinary senses that we will work with the clairs, 5 to 6 clairs that we'll work with, which are a super sensitive understanding or receptivity to spiritual energy. Well, we're going to work on that, and you'll walk away with some, whoa, well, look at that. I had no idea that worked. Um, it's really always fun to access past lives as well. So I'm going to teach you how, at least 4 or 5 ways to access past lives and to get a feel for what you struggled with before and what you brought forward in this life and the theme. Sometimes when we study our past lives, we do journeys um, with all of the lifetimes that our soul's experiencing, sometimes all at the same time. You'll see what your soul is working on. You'll see what's important to your soul, and you'll be able to have a deeper, more meaningful exchange with your soul. And you'll be able to quickly identify where you're blocked or where you're um, living in a contracted space of limited thinking and moving that aside to move in a fully um, graced way of interacting and moving forward with that higher power. Um, when I read for you, we access the Akashic records immediately. Once you set your intention and talk about where you are in your life, that opens, and we open the records, that opens the doorway for me to really see what's going on. I see it in colors. I see it in I can feel it in my body clairsentiently. I can hear what your guides have to say in many different ways. When we work with me in training, you immediately open up the Akashic records to be able to access them immediately. And from that first session, we'll start to explore the different levels of consciousness and where they came from and how they're impacting you. And that kind of thing. So there's so many different ways of working with the Akashic energy of healing and grace and opening up to the beautiful intensity and magnificence of your own soul, which is that's who you are. Um, we're going to, if you choose to work with me one-on-one in either just a reading or a mentorship, you will dive deep into places in your life that you've been skirting around and haven't known why these things are happening or how to go forward. And we'll start to uncover the meaning of some of the pain and the frustration in your life. And uncovering that meaning has many different implications. So sometimes knowing why something is happening in your life is very, very helpful, but also how you're reacting to it. How is it serving you? And what lesson has it brought to your life? And now what do you want to do with it? What do you want to experience because of all that you know and all that you learned? Or what do you want to experience differently now that you know that this other thing exists and you're not happy with it? So you will have choices. That's one of the things in the sessions and working with me is to be empowered in the different choices that you may have from a soul level, from a higher perspective. People are really enjoy working with me, and kind of things that they're saying to me is that they like taking my classes. They seem to think that I'm a very calm person, very caring, and but they also understand the guidance that I give because I'm pacing very gently, and I encourage people to explore things on their own rather than telling them this is how it is. And it's important to acknowledge feelings and issues um, and begin to learn to articulate those things because our issues or our thoughts so that we can go deeper into the Akashic records. Once we reveal ourselves to our spirit guides and our souls, we're revealing ourselves to ourselves, and then we can go deeper into healing or balancing what's going on in our lives. Many people have walked away from sessions of working with me, either learning from me or working private with me. They feel a lot stronger about the decisions that they're making in their lives, and they're finding courage to make new decisions. So maybe they've always wanted to do something in their lives, and they haven't been able to. And working in the Akashic records, building up their relationship with their soul gives them the means to live their potential and builds their capacity to live their potential. We all have lots of potentials, but do we have the capacity and the means to step into that potential? Sometimes not so much. And this work will help on a spiritual level, help you do that. Um, Somebody said, everything in my daily life is easier. I used to be so worried, and now I'm not as worried. There's this, when you understand how the flow of life works in your life, when you can see how your guides are working in your life, and you slowly, slowly begin to trust it, life gets easier. It really does. It's incremental. It's not like you go from 0 to 80 on a dime, but it's incremental as you heal and you grow and you learn how deep life can be, or how satisfying life can be. People talk about having more confidence in themselves, and they start to see themselves as divine beings, and they stop second guessing themselves so much, or they begin to trust their own inner knowing. And we're going to work on that. We're going to talk about what inner knowing is all about. Sometimes our thoughts and our feelings are totally opposite of everybody else. Well, there's a message there. There's a learning there. There's something important there that we need to know, not only about ourselves, but the truth about our lives. So we don't necessarily agree with everybody else. That's kind of a it's kind of a misnomer to think that when we all get along, everything's going to be fine. Well, if we all get along, there's somebody in there that's faking it. There's somebody in there that's not listening to their soul's calling, or their truth. So it's really not about us all being the same or all getting along. It's about us recognizing each other's divinity and respecting it, and being willing to let them have a voice, or being willing to let yourself have a voice, um, so that you can make better and healthier choices, and really receive the higher guidance as something that's supporting you, that's helping you make decisions. Remember, we are co-creators in our lives with the higher power. We're not just led by a higher power and told what to do. Instead, we're elevated as we connect with our higher power, so that we begin to create together. Our soul has a plan, but we're creating how that plan is going to implement itself. And we may actually take that plan in a new direction that our soul didn't even think of, because that's how creative we are. That's how awesome we are. Um, Knowing that you're not alone and knowing that you're not isolated is key here. It's so, so important to realize that. And that's a practice. It's a practice. You could wake up in the morning and totally forget. It's like, oh my gosh, here I am again, alone and frustrated and sad. But the practice of that connection to your soul and that connection to the Akashic field and the divinity will remind you, will bring you back to, I'm not alone anymore, and that life is okay. So it's again a practice, and we will build that practice in the learning session, in the intensives that we work with together. So I want you to invite you to go to angelscapes.net, and you can look at under classes and events. You could see there's an Akashic Journey intensive that's starting up soon, and then it'll start up again in March. And once you do the training, we have advanced classes that are remarkable and a lot of fun. Or you can go to under services, and you can see the mentorships that I have to offer, and you can work with me one-on-one on a very deep dive on one particular issue in your life, or you can work with me for a longer period of time to really begin to transform things that you haven't been able to transform on your own. You are the gold. You are sovereign. You are able to do all this work, but sometimes you need a mentor. You need somebody to help move you along, so that you can see that how big the picture is for you, and how beautiful and how wonderful, and that you're not alone. And that's what I offer in the from the Akashic Records. Um, and really, this is a journey to your soul, and it's a journey to your magnificent self. And I'm inviting you to join me in that. And there's plenty of information out there around the Akashic Records. Many people teach the Akashic Records. They teach how to access the journey of your soul, the language of your soul. I also have a book out called Divine Love Affair, an Akashic Journey. It's on Amazon, Nancy Smith, Divine Love Affair, an Akashic Journey. Just search in Amazon with all those words, and you'll find that book will take you through the journey with lots of different exercises and things to do. Um, and also, there's many other authors that talk about the Akashic Records and the connection between you and your soul, and different healing modalities that you can go through. And then the opening of the awareness that where am I from? Why am I here? How is it that I came to be here? Where did I experience? What is my weaknesses? What is my strengths? What is hidden talents within me? And what can my soul, how can my soul help me with? And what does my soul want me to do? And what is my soul offering me to help me to do all these things in my life that I want to? So I want to invite you on this self-aware journey that takes you to places that you've never imagined before in baby steps. And take a look at what your Akashic means to you, and what your soul is to you, who your soul is to you, and who your guides are. So that's it for this episode. And I will be back next week to talk to you about we're going to talk to Casey O'Donnell about Wiccan practices during Samhain. And it'll be a wonderful time, and looking forward to it. Thanks and good night.
Thank you for joining the Angelscapes podcast. We hope you've gained new insights and inspiration for your journey to uncover and access your soul's power. For more information and a deeper dive into finding clarity in your life, go to angelscapes.net. Remember to subscribe so you can be part of the discussion. It may just change your life. See you next time.